Zest is in, where resilience begins, not fixing the cracks.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Zest is in with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that'll take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, it's an absolute delight to welcome my guest, Camille Miller. She is an intuitive mentor, midlife reinvention pioneer, and 3 times best-selling author, and I'm sure she's got a lot more up her sleeve. Through her work guiding high-performing professionals to align purpose with impact, she invites us to explore how to consciously design a next chapter that honors both success and soul. Together, we'll uncover what it truly means to bring your gifts to the world with authenticity, courage, and heart. If you feel called, I invite you to share a little love today by helping amplify my guest's voice by subscribing for future episodes. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it allows this powerful episode and many more, and the wisdom shared here today, to reach many more hearts and minds. And if you have done so already, thank you. And may this episode bring you the clarity, the courage, and the gentle permission to step boldly into your next chapter. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today.
You are so welcome. And I don't know why, but I just feel really cool to ask you this, because I always love what the meaning of different words mean to different people. So, because I think when we show up, for example, like I could have been any coach, but I particularly pick empowerment, and there's a reason why that word means so much to me. So I just would love like your take on why you picked pioneer, because I love that word.
I believe like a pioneer blazes a new path that someone else hasn't walked.
Yes.
So I also, like I say, I'm the pioneer of the soul professional movement, because I feel like it's a new trail we're blazing.
Oh, I love that.
That's why I like pioneer.
Yeah.
I'm not a pioneer in everything. I could be a leader, but I think a pioneer is very different.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but when I think of a leader and a pioneer, and again, which is why I love the playfulness of words and the visuals you get. I always imagine kind of a leader being centered around something or people that they're creating to improve whatever it is. And again, that isn't the definition, but I mean, that's what I'm imagining right now. Whereas when I think of a pioneer, I feel like often I think of like a mountain, and they're walking and they're hiking, and often they don't have a plan. They don't even know where they're going, what they're doing, but they just have this drive in them.
Yeah, agreed.
And I can imagine how both cross, because, you know, a leader and a pioneer, essentially a pioneer is a leader. But I love the fact that, there's just no blueprint, if you like. It's just all systems go, let's do this. Yeah. Whatever this is.
Yeah. And when you say like there's a mountain, the first thing I think of is like, we don't know what's at the top though. We don't even know if that is a top. That's like what we see, but it could be base camp.
Yes.
Like we don't know. And I feel like it's a newer explorer.
I love that.
Of what's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And equally the word movement. I feel like there's these, these buzzwords that get thrown around. And I feel like that is a word that is really being thrown around at the moment. But when you really connect to that word, but I feel like they do it on purpose, as if it's someone, because I felt really cool to use the word movement, because I felt it so much more than what just one little label could be. It's a, I think of like a wave, a movement, something that's just constantly gaining more speed and more momentum. And so then when I see kind of these words like get almost diluted and overused, I feel like it's on purpose again to take the core meaning away from it and kind of numb it a little bit more. But then we have to still stay true to our understanding of it, and much more than just the word, but actually what we are infusing into the world, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
When I started using the word movement in 2020, nobody was using it, but I feel like everyone's using it now. Like
Yeah.
every coach is throwing out, this is a movement, this is a movement. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not a movement if it's your program. That's not a movement.
I know.
My definition is, because we have the soul professional movement, that it goes on without me. It's
Well,
not about me
the
or
soul
my
is
programs. Yeah. Like a movement is a mass rising of a change of thinking.
yeah.
It's a paradigm shift in the
Yes.
world. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
that's
I
why
feel like it's being thrown out there, and so is spirituality, so is authenticity,
yeah,
so is
yeah.
like the word coach. Like there are so many words that have been
Manifesting.
ruined. Yeah.
Well, guess what, guys? We're always manifesting, believe it or not. It's not just a positive thing.
That's exactly right.
So that's why I felt really cool to mention that as well, because I feel that from you, even though I purposely, of course, I take into consideration your bios, and I put together something for you.
Yeah.
But I equally purposely do not look at all that you're doing, because I want to feel so fresh and curious. And so I knew that again was something that I just felt like I really wanted to say with you, because yeah, I feel that from you. I feel that. So
Thank you.
beautiful. So thinking about that, and I'm sure I know you specialize in midlife. Whatever that appears to be for everybody.
I go back and forth with using that word,
Yeah.
because I put it out there once, like, what do you think midlife is? And the answers were all over the place, you know? And I'm like, so I try to say, I go back and forth with midlife or transitioning.
Yes.
Because I believe that we transition and reinvent ourselves a few times throughout our lifetime.
Yes.
Right. And each time I think we're getting better. I think we do it every decade, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, so I've struggled with, is it midlife? Is it not? Because now I have 30-year-olds coming to me. So it's very different, but it's really about the transitioning but I do believe a lot of people are in this place of reinvention.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's because of the energy in the world right now, where we really want to embody who we are. It's not about the strategy. So in my own work, where it's been a lot about bringing soul with the strategy, now I'm in this place of people aren't looking for the strategy. They're more looking for the embodiment of who they are. And then how do we put that into play? So kind of backing up a bit is where we are now, which is kind of fun, because I've always been that person anyway, but I've brought it through very quietly. But now we have to lead with that. We have to position it a little differently. Like we have to find out who we are as people. And, you know, anyone I work with, like, who are you? Who do you want to help? What lights you up inside? And if money wasn't a motivator, what would make you wake up and do something every day?
Beautiful, beautiful. And that's why I felt really cool to mention that as well, because it's definitely not a negative for you. It's actually to, if we say, sell you more, because I sense that it isn't just for midlife, people in midlife, it's for everyone and anyone, and the transition, we all have transitions. So with that in mind, I would love to know, because you said obviously strategy and soul, and if money wasn't a factor, what would you do? And I always love these conversations, because particularly for me recently in a transition, what I really noticed was what I thought that I wanted, and what I was really striving for and really pushing for, and really believing was still a part of me, a huge part of me. But the moment I really got very intentional, I guess you could say, with my intentions, with my prayers, whichever way people do it, and I really kept seeking more to align fully with my soul, like actually what does my soul really want, that's when my life really changed.
Oh,
And
that's
it
great.
wasn't what I actually expected or had on the to-do list.
The hard part is listening to it.
Yes,
right?
So just curious with that, like, do you because obviously we've all got our intuition, and often we see the blind spots of other people and things like that, but how, I'm trying to think how to word this. So for example, say someone comes to you and you can, and you know, they really think that you know, A to B, which we never know is A to B, and you just really sense and feel just from the passion they're expressing, the way they're speaking, because I'm sure that there's a lot more that you ask around everything that they're that you're discussing with them. How do you, like, kind of not navigate, but align them more with their soul, basically? Because I think the soul speaks through all the time, and often we're not even aware of it. Like, it's such a sometimes unconscious thing of just comments we say or things we talk about, and the difference, like when talking to you now, and I'm sure you do this with your clients, we see the different energy and expression when people say different things.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's listening to their words, obviously.
Yeah.
Right? It's very hard to hear our own words. That's why many times I'm hired as a thought partner. And I love that word, because if you help someone think through whatever's on their mind, you're listening for things that they don't hear themselves say.
Yeah.
Right? So it's really just mirroring it back and saying, well, this is what you're saying, or I noticed your energy shift when you said this, or talked about this. And many times when I'm talking to people, especially in that reinvention stage, they're like, I would love to do this, but I can't get paid for that. And I'm always like, why not? Like, who told you that? That's a limiting belief, right? And really creating that business or whatever their next step is, in a way that feels right and true in their body. And that's what we're missing right now. And I think that's what our souls are looking for at this, you know, place in time. Right? We are looking for the embodiment. We're looking for the coherence, which means our body is in acceptance of whatever we're doing. So it's one thing to be in alignment, which means you logically know what you want to do, right? But coherence is, does this feel good in my body? Right? So, and then that has to show up everywhere. So a lot of times with my clients or in my classes, I'm starting with, you know, some of the inner questions, you know, how would you want your day to look? Right? What are things that you'd want to show up? And it could be like, well, I only want to work 3 days a week, or I want, you know, flexibility so I can be around my kids, or I really want to travel the world, or whatever it looks like, to quickly write down all the things that you really want.
Beautiful.
Right? Don't think about money. Don't think about the business plan. Just all the things that you would really, really want. Right? And then what are your non-negotiables? What are the things you absolutely don't want? It could be like working on weekends, or working nights, or, you know, working with a board of directors, having to do sales, like whatever that looks like. So then we start to look at those two columns and create what is possible. Because it's all possible. People are always like, it's not possible. It's all possible. You could literally do anything you want, but you have to know what that is. If you don't know what it is, then you're all over the place. There's no direct path. You can't say, no, that's a no for me. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm not accepting those terms, because you don't have any terms. Right? So first, knowing what's in those boxes is really, really important. Right? You could be open for possibility, and that's okay too. But you definitely have non-negotiables. Everybody does. Right?
I love that.
So knowing what that is.
I love that
and then
so
working
much.
around that.
Yeah, because I can imagine we don't get to that stage independently because we've already told ourselves no. And that's why I
Right.
love, that's the blind spot, isn't it? That's
Yep.
that's the reason why it's super important to have a coach, a mentor, to connect with so many people that have the can do attitude, because we're so often can't, even though we might not be conscious of it, or conscious of it, and think no, I can, and when we're conscious we're in that mindset, but actually what are we still saying, what actions are we taking unconsciously that is not really actually showing that. So for example, someone who, oh yeah, that's definitely what I want to do, but then they're not taking the next step because they're almost not putting things on the list, or removing things, or not going as wide or whatever it is that they want to, because there's still something saying, no, that's too much. You can't do
Exactly.
that.
Yes.
Whereas the beautiful thing is, I'm with you, is they're going to question that. Do you think, what about put it down? They're not going to have that block because they've got someone there, and that's why I think it's super important and so empowering. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. I think that's what has been missing. Like, people feel like they're not quite there, something's missing, it's not landing, like whatever that is for them, that's usually what it is. Well, it's also coherence, right? Your body doesn't believe it. So it's one thing to have a strategic plan, but if your body doesn't believe you can do it, right? You have limiting beliefs around it, you'll never, ever, ever achieve it. So part of my work isn't just the logical, brainy stuff. It's also the coherence. I do a thing called Psyche, which is an energy psychology. I'm also incredibly intuitive, and I can read energies in people. So I can say, like, I hear you telling me this, but I know that your energy isn't, like, you're lying. You might not know you're lying. But, so I think that makes me very unique, because I'm so logical and I'm so spiritual.
Beautiful. I love that.
I can just be like, I get your logical, and that's why I work with a lot of logically brained people, because I get that that's where you want to go, but you realize that you have a block here, and that's what we have to clear before we can go to this next step. So many times in our sessions, we're clearing blocks and limiting beliefs and getting our body ready before we're working on the strategy and the thoughts around it.
Absolutely. And when thinking about blocks, would you, obviously everybody is different, but would you say that, this is just something that I've noticed from my own personal experience, I always used to see things as like a kind of tick off, and but I already healed that, I already done that, and give myself a hard time. But equally, I think that when we are aware of it and we identify these blocks, as you so beautifully outlined, I always feel like life comes back round in a different way, just to check. And previously I'd be like, no, but this I've done, and I'd give myself a hard time. But I think that's equally something important that I think often it's very much missed out of, particularly spirituality. It's almost like everything is a tick list sometimes, and it's like, I had one dark night of the soul. No, you can have multiple. Just but I remember being like, and I'm sure there's some people listening now like, dark night of the soul, just Google it, don't worry. But like, basically it's when you feel like your whole life is like shattered and you're like, I don't know how to get through this. You can have multiple.
Sure can. Yeah. And we're each, because we grow, right? And as we grow, we're learning more lessons.
Yes.
And we might go through like scarcity, and self-worth is a big one, especially among women, right? The ability to our earning ceilings. We have a self-worth around earning ceilings. So a lot of times we're capping at an earning ceiling. That's a limiting belief in our body, not believing that it's possible. That is the number one thing I clear in women professionals, the number one thing, right? So they can start hitting salary borders and, whatever that looks like, because women didn't believe that they were worthy, or they start to have their own business, but in the corporate world, they made a certain amount and they can hit that, but they can't get through it. They're plateauing. A lot of times it's a self-worth issue, and it comes up all the time. Now, just because we clear it doesn't mean it doesn't show up again at a higher level.
Yes.
Right. So,
yes.
Right. When you're an entrepreneur, I see it all the time. We finally get ourselves stable, and then sometimes we self-sabotage, or we have a block right before we hit 100,000. And once we get through 100,000, we hit it again at 300. We hit it right before 1,000,000. We hit it a couple times because we don't think we're worthy, and we have to go in and do the same work, but we're doing it at a higher level.
Thank you so
things
much.
Can creep back in.
Yeah, that's super important. And actually what I really feel like in you expressing that, and please correct me if it's not quite what you're expressing, but what I believe is we should re-experience it, because that shows expansion, that shows up leveling.
Exactly.
Whereas before I used to always see it as such a negative of, oh my gosh, it was, as if and then it's like boom, and then I'm like, why again? No, if you want to open your container or your capacity, expect a little rumble in the jungle, So of course I'm not saying everything, everything has to just all of a sudden come into this disruption and everything is chaos and havoc. No, but recognize sometimes when there's that resistance and that just something, if we like testing you, even though that again is a bit of a weird word, that's because you're expanding and you're allowing more capacity to come in. But again, equally, we all love the ease and flow, and especially with the divine feminine words of, no, it doesn't have to be force, it can be flow. But equally, we have to be realistic with the way the world is as well. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I'd like to just add that I think the universe does retest us, but the lesson for us is, how do I handle it the second time around? Right? And you could recognize wow, that happened before and it totally depleted me. But at this time I was able to handle it. I knew how to manage it, and I ended up higher, or not falling as low. There are all ways, but you really have to recognize that win, right? Absolutely. Celebrate that success.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you're recognizing your own growth, because that's how it continues to happen.
Yeah, and I think obviously not to look back too much all the time, because we want to really face forward and where we're heading and be in the present moment. But equally, I think that is a beautiful moment to look back, because when I stop and I think about it, I think, oh my gosh, that took me. And again, there's no reward for it, it's fine, but because it depends on what it is we're facing. But I remember what used to take me years to go, why have I been doing that again and again and again? Is there maybe months, is maybe weeks, sometimes an hour, and I'm like, okay. Depending on what it is, but it's just very interesting. And that's why I think sometimes we have this repetition, because sometimes it's this and we really can't see it until we actually go, oh, why again? Or you hear yourself, why again? Oh, why again? There you go. Really, thank you so much. I've really loved this conversation. Equally, as this is your episode, I want to make sure that you have had a chance to express all that you want to express, and if there's anything you feel like the listeners would really benefit from hearing that you haven't told them already, please feel free. But I've loved this conversation.
So my biggest thing is that I pioneered, which we said before, the soul professional movement, and the whole idea of the movement is the call to all these impact-driven entrepreneurs all over the world. We are in 48 countries, 6 continents, and we just want to get people to meet each other and help each other rise. And everything we do right now is free. It's an open community for people to learn. So we are looking for people just to get involved and be a part of it. And we do have in-person meetings all over the world, and we have ambassadors that help us out. So it's a true movement. yeah, of helping everybody. Because I live in the United States where, well, up until like now, economically we were in pretty good shape, right? And we could afford more than the rest of the world. But now, like, the whole movement itself was to make it access to everybody. So it's an open access community. It's completely supported by the community itself to help everybody get their gifts to the world. However we can do that, to explore our own spirituality. We have soul circles where I pull oracle cards and do readings for people, and other people share in that. We have healing circles and networking and master classes in soul-led business. So
amazing,
just wanted to put that out there. Yeah, so people know we exist.
No, absolutely, because and this is the thing that I love in asking you that, because like what I say, I don't dive too much into it all, but that's key. Like, I'm so happy you expressed that. And how beautiful. Like, again, my mind very much thinks in visuals a lot. And I just imagine this beautiful globe of all these beautiful lights all around the world, 48 at the moment, but many more. And yeah, absolutely beautiful, and a real big movement. So I agree. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And all your details will be in the description. So please, anyone, if you just feel this, you're curious, anything, reach out. And you never know where this path could take you. So really, thank you. Yeah, just off the top of your head, if there's anything else that you feel like someone listening would really benefit from hearing right now, what would you tell them?
Anything is possible. Just keep following your soul, your heart, your intuition. What you believe is possible is absolutely possible.
Absolutely. Thank you, Camille. It's been incredible. I've really enjoyed this conversation with you, and may you get so much abundance and people to join your movement. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That's the magic that Zest is in.